this is a Raspberry Pi. Actually, this is a Raspberry Pi 2. And unless you've been living under a rock for the past 5 years or so, I think everybody knows what a Raspberry Pi is. If you don't, well, basically, it's a single board computer. The first generation, and I think there's about 4 of them out now. There's the Raspberry Pi 1, which is the original. And I have a couple of those. That's what I use a Raspberry Pi 1 running XBMC. Actually, I'm running OSMC, Open Source Media Center. But it's still a flavor of Kodi. I'm running one to play my concert videos. I'm running another one that plays my bad weather video that I use as a test on some of my other videos. It feeds into my modulator. And this one here is a Raspberry Pi 2. Now these things can do tons and tons of stuff. They have all kinds of interfaces, so they can be used for automation. People use them for any number of things. They can be used for controlling robots. You can plug a camera into it. You can use it as a VPN. You can use it as a Wi-Fi extender. It's amazing what these little devices will do. And they actually have cameras that you can plug in, display adapters. You can plug a touch screen into them. It's got a header on here. It's just really quite amazing. They come complete. The Raspberry Pi 2 comes complete with 4 USB ports and onboard Ethernet. And you've got your AV output and an HDMI and your power input, and they don't have a hard drive on them. What they use is an SD card, which you put your operating system on. What a lot of people use these things for is media players, and that's what I'm going to set this one up for on this episode. So I'm just going to put this thing in its little protective case here. Most people, when they buy them, they'll buy a case to go with them because it just protects the unit from anything shorting it out. Now, I made the mistake of buying one of these clear plastic cases, and if you're buying a Raspberry Pi 2, you're probably better to get a case that's not clear. And the reason for that is there's a design problem with the Raspberry Pi 2, which is this one. And that problem is they're light sensitive. One of the chips on here is sensitive to flashes of light, namely from a Xeon flash. So if this thing's running and I take a camera with a conventional Xeon flash and take a picture of it, the flash of light from the flash tube will actually cause the Pi to reset. And maybe we'll play with that when I get this going. I'll show you. Of course, in the transparent case, that's a problem. I'm going to set this thing up here. I just broke one of the little tabs off here trying to set the board in place. So once we place the unit into the base, we can snap the top on, and it just snaps in place like that. And now we can go about preparing the operating system for the Raspberry Pi 2. I'm really a little bit pissed right now because I just uploaded my MXQ video, MXQ Pro Kodi dual boot, and I just got nailed. Check this out. Those Fockers at YouTube. Copyrighted content video clip claimed by Fox, and my video has been blocked. So I'm going to have to blur it. This is absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to show you off my other computer the extent that I blurred the image to. I'm just going to show a freeze frame because I'm afraid if I show it playing on this, they'll block this one. I'm going to show you the extent that I blurred this. I'm going to have to go back and re-edit this and upload it, and I'm going to send YouTube a fucking message because this is absolute bullshit. Here's a grab from the screen. I just put it on freeze frame. I have about a 10-second clip from the TV show Homeland, the opening preview before the show even starts, where it says previously on Homeland, and I have it blurred to that extent, a 10-second clip, and they have made a match and blocked my video worldwide. Those Fockers. So I'm sending them another message. I'm going to put a vertical hold, a vertical roll, and I'll flip the picture upside down and blur it even more than that. But I had this blurred to 70%, and there's no way that that should even remotely cause any type of match with it being blurred to that degree. I guess I could dispute this, but the disputes generally tend to fall on deaf ears because a human's not making this decision, a computer is. And if I dispute it, it's just going to delay. It's going to delay the outcome, and in the end, I end up losing because any money that their video generates over the next 30 days that they have to dispute, I don't see. So I pull the video because it's already blocked, and I'll re-upload it. And I'm going to go and make some more changes on here. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to let's add a horizontal. Let's add a horizontal effect to that, and we'll see how it's going to look now with the horizontal effect. Okay, so now I'm going to put a horizontal hold on it like that. See whether that will let it get through without. There we go. I'm going to do that to it anyway, and then re-upload it. And it's just absolutely ridiculous that the crap that YouTube puts us through. You know, it's one thing to show copyrighted images, but when I go out of my way to distort them to the point where you cannot tell what it is, and I still get hit with it, it's total bullshit. Anyway, back to the Raspberry Pi. To get the software for a Raspberry Pi, we're going to use one called OSMC. So it is not XBMC, it's not Kodi, it's OSMC, which stands for Open Source Media Center. It is every bit as good, I think, as Kodi. In fact, when it's installed and I set up the skin on it, you won't be able to tell the difference between the two of them. You get it from osmc.tv/download and just go down and pick your device, Raspberry Pi, and then pick your installer, Windows OS X or Linux, and just click on it. Save the file. It's a binary file. I've already saved it, so there's no point in me saving it again. Let's go and install it. The Raspberry Pi 2 uses a micro SD card, so into the adapter it goes, and into the back of the computer, or the front of the computer, this goes as well. This is a new SD card that's not been formatted, so I'm just going to click on the OSMC installer, and I'm going to click Run. And it's really simple to set this up. Yes. So, welcome. Please select your language. Obviously, English. What would you like to install OSMC on? It's for a Raspberry Pi. See, you got select. You can select. It'll work a Vero, a Vero 2, a Vero 4K, a Vero 2, and a Vero. Raspberry Pi 1 or 0, Raspberry Pi 2 or 3, and a first generation Apple TV. Well, we're putting this on a Raspberry Pi 2 or 3. Click the arrow here, and which version would I like? And now I can pick which version. Well, I think I'm going to pick the latest version here, and then I'm going to click the forward arrow button here, and it's asking me what I'm putting it on, because you could boot this off of a USB stick. It does not have to boot off SD. You can boot it off a USB stick as well. I'm using SD. It's small, it's neat, it tucks right in here, there's nothing sticking out. So an SD card, go. Now you pick how you're going to connect it to the web. Well, I'm going to be connected with Ethernet because this is wherever this is going to be used. I have Ethernet everywhere. But if you had a wireless connection and you had a wireless adapter for this, you would pick wireless connection. So wired connection, go. Okay, it's telling me this is the size. This is my card. It's drive H. Yes, it is. Go. You must select. Oh, I got to click on here. There. Now I've done it. Go. I accept the end user license agreement. Go. Okay, please wait while we grab the software. Now it is actually downloading the software on my PC. And once it's finished downloading the software, it's going to install it. So it told me to go grab a coffee. But in reality, this doesn't take that long. It's a pretty much totally automated installation. Very much like the MXQ Pro when I set that up for the dual boot. Except for I think this is probably a little bit easier, because when you get these other devices, these are single purpose media players. The Raspberry Pi is a computer. It has no operating system. So when you want to set this up for as a Kodi box or whatever, the software out there is already preset for this. So it's really quite straightforward. Probably one of the easiest devices to set up for watching TV. So I just extracted the file. Are you sure I want to install OSMC on the device? Yes. And there it goes. It's now downloading it onto the device. It's all one file. None of this having to use disk writer or anything to write the files. This is all taken care of internally by the installer. So it makes setting these things up a snap. And once I plug this into the TV and plug it into the network, you'll see it. You'll see all kinds of code go flying by, and it's going to download all of the rest of the operating system, install itself. There we go, ready to go. Quit. So now I can take the SD card and put it into this and continue. So I remove the SD card from the adapter and I install it into the card slot on the back of the Raspberry Pi. As you can see, it's protected, it's nicely out of the way. Now I'll connect this up to my TV with the HDMI cable, and I'll connect the network cable, and a power cable. Gotta find my power cable. There it is. Just a standard USB, micro USB. We're now ready to power this thing up, because it's like magic when this thing starts. You'll see some little lights flashing on here initially as it boots up. Now what it's doing is it's now downloaded the code from the SD card onto RAM on the Raspberry Pi, and is now formatting the memory card for its own use. And then it'll install the software back onto the memory card. So it's quite the way the operation, the way this thing sets up. Okay, now it's going to install the files back onto the SD card, and then once the files have installed, it'll start to install itself. Now this is a little different than what I was used to seeing on the older versions when we ran an operating system called Raspberry, which is no longer supported and no longer works, and that actually was XBMC, but it no longer runs. You can't install it anymore. If you have an old Raspberry Pi 1 that it was installed on, I don't know if it even will work, to tell you the truth. I guess if the Raspberry Pi was never connected to the network and you were using it as a media player to play files, it probably still would, but if you connected it to the network, it would be disabled because it was no longer supported. And it was using XBMC. Microsoft had a bit of a problem with the XB for Xbox being used, so that was one of the reasons that the name changed to Kodi. And then the open source media center people came out with this for the Pi and a few other devices. I'm kind of multitasking right now because I just applied the heavier distortion to the other video that, well, it'll be posted and hopefully it won't get blocked. It'll be posted by the time you see this one. But I just put the heavier distortion, and I'm just compiling that, and the computer says it's going to take about another 30 minutes. Okay, this is almost installed. The files are almost installed. And now it should start doing its stuff. Okay, here we go. So this is what I'm talking about. It's going to start doing some stuff here. There it is. So this is the problem is, as you can see, it's off the edge of the screen because, well, I gotta set it up for English here. Ah, no, not Chinese. I don't like this I don't like this interface that starts out with these. Gotta pick my region first here. And we gotta do this, the normal accept BS. Okay. Now, I should be able to go into settings. Where are we here? I'm gonna take classic. Because classic makes it look like Kodi, because I don't really like that one. Maybe some people do. But the problem is, it's off the edge of the screen because overscan on the TV slightly, right? I don't even think this thing's set for overscan. It's just the way these sets do. Just zoom, fill, horizontal fill, just. See, full, just. That's off the edge of the screen. So even in full, it's off the edge. Anyway, I prefer classic. I just think that classic. Would I like to see? No, I don't want the newsletter. That's it. Okay, so I can get out of this. Okay, so I'm going to change the skin on this thing because this now looks like Kodi 17, right? Where was it here? To set up. Looks just like the other one. System setup. I think we can probably. Resolution 1920 by 1080. Yes. I want to keep that. Okay. Now we're ready to set this thing up. My regional settings are still a little bit off here. It's still showing me in the wrong time zone. But as you can see, it's off the edge of the screen here. Even if I adjust the format on the TV, I can really make it off the edge of the screen. Full is the only one that gets it even close. But of course, all these TVs, they always overscan slightly. They're not designed as a computer monitor, unfortunately. So I'm going to go to the add-ons and I'm going to turn on, it's already turned on, unknown sources is already turned on, so I don't have to do that on here. And I should be able to tweak the size of this slightly and bring it down a bit. Video calibration, I had to put it in expert mode. Okay, display, video calibration, this is what I'm after. Okay, so I clicked on video calibration, and now I have to adjust this thing. I can make the square perfectly square. Okay, I think that's probably pretty good. And I should be able to drag down the corner, which I can, you see up here. and drag down my corner until it just touches the edge of the screen. Close enough. I'll go down to the other side here and do the same. Drag the side in. So it's just touching the edge of the screen. And now make sure that this is square. And I right click and I should be able to save that. Okay, now I've just fixed my display. Now I can see what I'm doing. Let's load some repositories. So of course remember we're going to go down to File Manager. I'm going to say Add Source. And then I'm going to type in the installer, which is the Fusion. So it's HTTP. I've got my keyboard plugged in here now. Fusion dot TV addons dot AG. Okay, and then we'll give it the name Fusion. Okay. Okay. And now we can go back to the home page. And then we're going to install the Indigo tool. So we're going to go back to main home page here. We're going to go to add-ons. Oh, here you go. Install from zip file. Fusion. Begin here. Indigo. And it will install. Okay, should be installed now. And now if I go back to add-ons, it should be in here. There it is, Indigo. Click on Indigo. Initializing. Now it's going to do its magic just like it did on the other one. Config Wizard. Yes, install the best add-ons. I see that my other one is finished compiling now. We'll see how old. Anyway, okay. This is what if we look over at my other screen while this is doing this. This is what we're going to put on here now to satisfy those boneheads at YouTube. I say that's one of the reasons why I don't. So hopefully that won't get me a block too, because well, you saw how blurry it was. All I did was I just added the roll to it. This for what? But anyway, hopefully that won't cause me any problems. Go back to this one now. This one here looks like it's about done. It says time to restart. So I'm going to click OK and restart it. I'm going to start uploading to YouTube momentarily. I have to restart this thing by unplugging the power and plugging it back in. And it should boot up. And I should be good to go with my configured repositories from the automatic installer. And then I can go back and of course I can go into the add-ons and I can add on anything that I'm missing that I might want to add to it at some future point. But right now, I just want to see that the things are working. So if I go down to videos and I go to video add-ons, we have one channel here, right? All these add-ons are already there. Let's go to one channel and create some crap. Oh, yeah, okay. To get their messages popping up here. It's still doing its stuff in the background. Okay, movies, TV shows, playlists. Who should I get in trouble with this time? Already been in trouble with Fox. Been in trouble with the CBC. Who should I get in trouble with this time? Search for a movie. What the hell? I went to TV show, but you know what? Let's go to movies. Where are we here? Video add-ons. I bailed out of there. Why did I do that? Because I'm tired. That's why. Okay, TV shows, movies. Let's go to movies. I can search for one, or they'll be the top movies that are, you know, highly rated, most popular, whatever. So if I go to most popular, it's going to give me a list of all the movies that are most popular ones, the ones that have been watched the most. Naturally, I'm not going to show the movie. I might just show the opening logo, but I'm not going to take a chance. I've been getting whacked for showing distorted screens so many times here. It's ridiculous. I haven't showed a single frame from an actual show, you know, that's clear that you can actually see it, and I still get whacked. Put the picture upside down, get whacked. Put the picture out of focus, get whacked. Let's pick The Martian. Same as usual. You pick your source, and of course I'm not going to pair this thing. Oh, come on. Give me a break. I'm not leaving a digital ID anywhere to somewhere that I've been watching pirated content. And that's whenever I see something that tells me they want me to pair it to them, it's always kind of makes me a bit nervous. Just keep picking them at random. It just wants me to pair it too. Not going to do it. Not going to happen. I laugh when I hear people say, oh, I don't have cable. I watch everything on the internet. I watch everything on Kodi. Yeah, how frustrating is that when you spend half the night trying to find a stream that will play? You know, it's one of the reasons I don't use this to watch TV. As I've stated before, I use these for streaming content, for my own content that I've already got on hard drives. Okay, this one's going to play, it looks like. Hey, it's going to play, but I'm not going to play this thing. And it's going to buffer, of course. I'll let the 20th Century Fox logo play. The quality's not actually bad on this one either. Some of them are, some shows are in HD, and a lot of them are in standard definition. This one looks like it could be in like 720. Does it tell me what it is? And I'm going to have to cut it off somewhere around here just because I can get in trouble. Anyway, that's how it works. Say sometimes you spend more time trying to get the thing to play. We'll pause it there. I'm not going to let this thing play any further than that because, well, you know what happens, right? Anyway, that's how it works. That's how you set up. That's how you set up OSMC, Open Source Media Center, on a Raspberry Pi. It works exactly like XBMC or Kodi, and you can pick these Raspberry Pis up dirt cheap. Raspberry Pi 2, I think they're probably about 30 bucks, something like that. I think I paid $30 or $40 for this thing. It wasn't that much to buy it when I bought it. They're pretty cheap. There's a Raspberry Pi Zero now apparently that's even cheaper. Does the same thing. And that's it. That's all she wrote. That's how this thing works. Files, again, if I had files on here, I could plug a stick in here. I don't know if I've got any files on here. Find out pretty quick. Lexar. Oh yeah, I've got some stuff on here. Got a couple movies on here. Grown-ups. Some pictures. Fireworks filled with a drone. See, this is what I use these things for more than anything else. They're great for media players. They're great for digital signage if you want to do advertising, for example. You plug one of these into the back of a TV. You don't need a smart TV. They're great for digital signage. You can update them remotely and so forth. So they are very good for that. Now, remember I mentioned that some of the Raspberry Pi 2 had a chip that was sensitive to light. Well, I can demonstrate that. Here I have a camera with a real Xeon flash. I'm going to set my camera up and turn on the flash on this thing. Flash. It's on auto now. I'm just going to make sure it's on. Okay. Flash is on. If I hold this thing up here into the screen and I go to take a picture of this thing, when the flash goes off, we should see the unit reset. Oh, there it goes. The flash just killed the Raspberry Pi. And it won't restart. I have to actually remove the power and plug it back in. And the reason for it is one of the chips in here is kind of sensitive to light, and it's one of the ones down here near the power. I think it's one of the regulators on this thing anyway. It'll reboot, but I just found that to be kind of funny that this was a known problem with these units here. I can reboot it, and we'll do it again. There, it's rebooted, and I can just take a picture. I don't even have to have this thing that close to it. I should do it from even over here. If I snap a picture, you guys can see my camera. That will make it reset. So that's something to consider with the Raspberry Pi 2. I don't know if they fixed that problem in the Pi 3, but the Raspberry Pi 2 definitely. If you've got one of these things, don't put it in a clear case. Put it in a black case or something that's going to block the light. So hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.